It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. I'm Candace Gish. Oh, my goodness, everyone. We're going to have a fantastic show. We're going to be interviewing a brand new diva, and we're going to be welcoming her to our diva family, and I'm very excited to get to know all about her. If this is your very first time tuning into the Divas That Care, a huge welcome. The Divas That Care is now in its 11th season, and we are listened to in over 30 countries around the world. So it's thanks to all of our amazing listeners that we've continued to do these programs. So make sure you check out all of our other hosts at divasthatcare.com. As I said, we have a brand new diva, everyone. Her name is Amy Scruggs, and I'm excited to be able to talk to her today. So welcome to the show, Amy.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited about this interview and getting to be on your show. Such a tremendous platform with amazing women, and I'm really honored to be a part of it.
Oh, my goodness. We are so excited to have you. We're excited to get to know you. And I bet you some of our listeners even might know who you are. But so what I want to do, Amy, before I start kind of diving into that, would you mind sharing a little bit about yourself, introducing yourself to all of our tribe?
Wow. Okay. Well, to sum it up in a very quick Cliff Note version, my personal life, I am a mother. I'm a wife. I have 4 kids. 3 are grown now. My daughter is now a senior in high school, and that, of course, being a tremendous part of my identity. But professionally, I have 20 years in the banking and mortgage world, but really mostly as a speaker, a communicator, as a team leader, as a recording artist. I toured nationally as a music recording artist for 7 years with some of the biggest names in country music. I've been a TV host for a national TV show here in the U.S. for the last 4 years. I just wrote a book on media coaching and communications for professionals, and I just recorded a new EP, so I am still a recording artist, still a TV host, still passionate about helping women grow and helping people communicate effectively, and of course, just proud of the journey and what I've been able to model to my children by pushing this stone uphill as a female entrepreneur.
Ooh, I love that. What a wonderful introduction. Absolutely inspiring. You know, I always tell people my biggest reason why I've continued to do the Divas is because of my 4 children, and they've always inspired me to be better than what I thought I could possibly be. And with yourself, oh my goodness, you are doing so many things. You're a very busy entrepreneur. You have been for such a long period of time. And I wanted to ask you, why was it important for you to come on the Divas today and to talk about, media coaching, communication training, and why is that really important in today?
Any platform that is focusing on helping empower and inspire women is so passionate to me. That was a big part that was missing at different parts in my career. And as women, we talk about being busy or doing so much. Well, it's no different than what every woman is doing. Every woman that is listening right now could come onto this platform, do an interview with you, and probably share the 20 things they've already done before this day started, and before it was even noon, because we all have a way of juggling and balancing and doing, and we need that support of each other as women because it is so difficult. A lot of our industries are very male-dominated. And so to push this stone uphill and to know that you've got a platform here that's inspiring, empowering, and engaging with women to help us be our best and have resources to support each other is why I was so excited and passionate about being here today.
Oh, my goodness. And I'm excited, too, because when I had the opportunity to go through your website before our program, I was like, wow, she's done so many things that could help so many other people. And I think that's what it's all about. We go on these journeys and you know what? We don't want to leave this earth with that information. I think that the biggest tragedy is that people leave without really sharing what they've done with their lives and how they can empower others. And you've learned so much over the years. I'm sure that you've been told no a lot of times, like myself. And you've learned from that. You've grown from those experiences. And now you're out there really sharing that with as many people as you can. And I love the platform that you are building. And I want to really dive into that. I know that there's a few other things I really want to talk to you because you have lots to talk about today. But tell me a little bit about your platform and how you're using that to help more people.
What I love about what I get to do is the organic nature of how it came about. You know, I'm not sitting here telling you that I went to multiple universities and got a degree in this. It was definitely the School of Hard Knocks. As you know, we just discussed 4 kids. And that says enough. Started young with those 4 kids, and going out and finding my career simultaneously has been pushing that stone uphill and taking these experiences. And each career, I love that I have multiple careers. People are like, well, you know, which are you? Well, I'm all of them, because everything opens up doors for the next. Yeah. And a lot of doors have closed. I mean, there's more closed doors than there are open doors. What you see, you know, maybe on my website now are the doors that still got to stay open. What we don't talk about are the doors that closed and the opportunities missed, or the opportunities that changed and twisted. And they all evolved into those tools in the tool belt that help us know how to overcome, help us to accept the no, help us to not be afraid of the failure, and they help us to keep pushing forward. I think that the never giving up, that never letting go, that has to constantly be there was the biggest lesson for me. There's been so many moments where it's like, that's it, I quit. But it's not an option. It's not a choice. It's not how I'm going to empower others. It's not what I do want to model to my kids. And it's a battle. It doesn't mean that I don't get those moments or those days. You know, I always tease people that I fire myself every morning and then I rehire myself somewhere in the early afternoon. There's this struggle that goes on in our mindset. But then I look back and go, wait a minute, well, I did accomplish this or that against those adversities. I was able to take this tool and use that to help inspire and empower somebody else who's just coming up the ranks. And when I see something that I learned help make a difference in someone else, then it was all worth it, every bit of it.
Oh, thank you so much for doing that. It means a lot. And I think it's hard. You know, we've had a lot of different amazing women on our program, and one of the things they've said is that they've come across other women that are scared to share because they realize that there's not a lot of women in high positions or doing certain things. And if they share that with others, then they might become successful. And what if that success is taken from them? And I love how you're like, you know what, and I felt I've gone through the same thing. You know, there's been so many things. It's like, okay, people say no, doors have shut, you know, and then you're like, okay, what did I learn? Do I give up or do I keep going? And what you are doing is inspiring so many people. And that's why I'm beyond excited to have you on today's program.
Thank you. And it's been women. I have to say, when I looked back, it was even recently, I really started kind of doing a diagram of like, where were those turning points? Where were the certain moments where things went to a next level or new opportunity presented itself? And I have to say, it was a woman, pretty much 80-90% of the time, that said, I'm going to take a chance on you. I'm going to show you this. Oh, awesome. I have had a tremendous experience with seeing women that helped each other, and that I got to be a recipient of that. One of the women was the first one to give me an opportunity in mortgage when I was 28 years old, and I had been home raising babies. I had no work experience whatsoever. And she said, I'm going to take a chance on you. And she was a woman that was the boss. She was a cancer survivor, single mom of 3. And she saw something in me that she said, I can train you, I can mold you. And we are still dear friends to this day, and that was 20 years ago. I just saw her last week and was able to tell her once again, face to face, and say, if you had not made that instinct decision, because I on paper did not have any of the qualifications for the job she gave me, had none of them. And she went on her instincts and said, I want to help this. I'm going to help this young woman. I'm going to help her. Literally where I sit today, being on this show with you, anything that I am doing now is a direct result of her making that decision on my behalf 20 years ago.
Oh, my gosh.
I hope that I get to be that for someone. I hope if one person comes across my path, that they are going to say, thank you, Amy, for seeing that in me, or for teaching me this, or encouraging me not to give up, to keep pressing through. Man, if I can do that for just one person, because I'm her one. She probably did it for a lot of people, but I know I'm her one. I want to be that one for someone. And now I have the visibility and the platform, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to do what I'm doing now as a coach and as a communications coach, that I think there's going to be more than one. And that makes me just so thrilled, because we need it so desperately.
Yes, we do. And it's those trailblazers, those women that have already been there, that have are really supporting. And I'm going to do a big shout out. My mom was actually that person for me. She was that person that was a trailblazer, that woman that was an entrepreneur that pushed through obstacles that I can't imagine, and to really inspire me to do the things that I'm doing. And then now in return, inspiring my 4 daughters that are, growing up in that aspect too. So I love hearing stories about that, because it just smiles on my face, because there's so many women out there that we're not able to, just say thank you. Thank you for being that person that I needed.
Yes. Oh, I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to go back and say thank you to those. I still have quite a handful. I purposely stay connected with people who made a difference in my career for the last 20 years, so that I can always go back and say thank you.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I think that's very important, that we not forget little moments. It might have been something small, but if we look back, you can trace where you are now based on that one small thing. And I think it's very important that we do that. And I love that you said, raising 4 girls. I've raised 3 boys. My youngest is a daughter. I've raised 3 sons. They're all young men now. And I say, hopefully with what I've taught you and who I am, your wives will thank me. I hope that I've instilled something in them to respect and empower women, that their wives will thank me for maybe that modeling that I was able to do for them. And they better open her door.
They will.
They better open her door and treat her well.
I think that is absolutely fantastic. Okay, Amy, so let's talk about your media coaching. I want to talk about how you work with individuals, because we have listeners, as I mentioned at the beginning of the program, all over the world. We're listening in over 30 countries now. How can our listeners work with you? What is it that you do with them that they can be inspired by you? How can you help them?
Well, it's really fun, because with today's virtual platform, there's so many different ways that we can help. I can do a virtual workshop where, all right, we get a group together and let's do a virtual workshop and do a training. I do one-on-one coaching, which I can do virtually. We can do over the phone. We can do over Zoom. But what I love doing is breaking it down. A lot of people are afraid of, well, what is media coaching? What does that mean? I have no intention of being on national TV. Well, that's great. Most people don't. But there is an element in communications in any industry that we're in that matters. There's so many pieces of my career that boils down to being an effective communicator, knowing how to do the ask, knowing how to present yourself, how to introduce yourself, how to set yourself apart in an in-person meeting or in a virtual meeting. That is a part of that, I want to say, media training. And so we really break down the comfort level. Most people are afraid for public speaking, being on camera, even doing our own cell phone marketing. People, no, don't make me go Facebook Live, and they panic, right? And so teaching how to get over some of those initial insecurities, really that self-awareness and learning, what is your face saying? How are you articulating? What is your message? Some simple preparation you can do before you ever turn a camera on, just even for marketing yourself, that can make a difference, and breaking down simple techniques. And with private coaching, we really go personalized. We do a deep dive on kind of who you are and how you everything from body language, facial expressions, what your background is, how to really make a concise message, how to articulate and change the way that you represent yourself in your career or personal life from here forward. And so it's a culmination of all of my backgrounds as a recording artist, as a TV host, as a business professional, and again, as a mom, that allows me to say, here's where effective communication comes in. And then also it's going to transcend into you being on camera. So whether you're doing a podcast just like this and you get to be on this amazing Divas platform, or whether you're on your local news, or whether you're doing your own digital marketing and cell phone marketing, how to really set yourself apart, stand out, and be authentic and natural, and put that self-recognition in. And so workshops, one-on-one coaching. I do have a course that I recorded that's going for sale next week on my website, Amy Scruggs Media, and you'll be able to, if you want to buy the digital course. My book goes live on ebook next week, July 6th. So Lights, Camera, Action on all major retailers, Amazon. So I put the resources out there, and I don't mean that in a way of saying, gosh, I've just done all this. I don't know how it just happened, but COVID hit and it allowed me to sit down and go, let me put this to paper.
Yep.
Let me actually record some of this. I went to the TV studio that I do the show at and recorded the course in the studio and just said, let's get some of this out there and help professionals. And so whatever level of resources somebody wants, whether they just want to join a group webinar or whether they want to have intense coaching, I've at least created those platforms that I can be accessible and kind of spread myself out a little bit more so it's not just the one-on-one coaching. I prefer one-on-one coaching because I love really diving in and getting to know somebody and helping them be their best. But there are ways, through the virtual coaching or even workshops that we can do that as well. And I've seen the difference it makes. And especially for us women, we have enough insecurities and things that are thrown at us that we worry about. And when we can eliminate some of those and just do a better job at how we represent ourselves, then it can take that one thing off of us so we can focus on being a better mom, a better wife, a better entrepreneur, better coworker, whatever those things are that we need to be more effective in our communications and in our presentation. If we can get those honed in, it frees up some time and space in our brains that we need. And I just love it. I just love what I do. Would have never guessed when the world was what it was 20 years ago when I was doing business on a flip phone and an earpiece. If you had told me I was going to be helping with digital marketing and, social media and on camera and all this stuff, I'd be like, what? It didn't even exist. And here I am specializing in something that didn't exist when I started my career. So how fun is that?
It is, and I absolutely think it's brilliant. I'm listening to you and I'm writing all these notes. One of the big things that our program we support is a lot of, I call them our young divas. A lot of young, still in high school and in college. We have a lot of them on our program. What an amazing opportunity for them to take a course from you so that they have a better understanding because, they're coming up in the world. They're going to be doing a lot of this. Yes, they've been exposed to it at a younger age, but it's not the same thing. Now they have to become more professional and more so that they can get these, college opportunities or they can get these work opportunities. And so your workshops, that's something that some of them could possibly take?
Oh, absolutely. We can set up individual workshops, get a group together. If I've got 10 or more, we can set up a private workshop that works around the schedules of wherever they are in the world. I will get up, I will stay up late, whatever that needs to happen, and we can put that together. And we can definitely do that. It's, go through Amy Scruggs Media. You can do the contact. Just send a contact and just say Divas. I heard you on Divas, and we will get right back and get that put together. You can absolutely reach me through amyscruggsmedia.com. There's a schedule a consultation, schedule a call. Again, I will work around different time zones and make sure that we connect. And let's put together a workshop. Let's talk about private coaching or whatever meets the need of you or your team or organization and make it personal. That's what's so fun about this.
Exactly. What a fantastic thing. Amy, I'm blown away of all the things that you're doing and how you are really working with people, because a lot of us, especially in the last 18 months, where our lives have changed. A lot of us are working from home, and we're doing a lot of Zooms, and there's people that are still doing Zooms in their pajamas. It's like, okay, let's not do that anymore. Let's
get dressed.
Be more
time to get dressed
because this is So I think having an understanding and realizing that this could be a new norm for a lot of individuals. But it could be such a great thing for people to do, and let's just do it, perhaps better.
There's a lot of missed opportunity taking place in these virtual meetings. I have, over the last years, I've really, been in a million Zooms, just like everybody else, and I paid attention to great professionals that when they used to be in the boardroom or in a personal meeting or networking event, stood up straight, articulate, and something happened when we went behind the camera at our desks. That they just got lost. I have seen professionals just leaning on their desk, half asleep, eating a sandwich while they're in the meeting. There are things that we can do to set ourselves apart because there are opportunities in those. I have met the most incredible people from around the world because of the opportunities in these Zoom meetings this past year. That now my network has expanded larger than I ever could have dreamed of. And I do believe that showing up face on, aware of how I'm presenting myself in each one of these meetings for the whole thing. I'm looking in the camera. I know what my face is, no different than I had been sitting across a table from somebody. Keeping that body language, those facial expressions, your mannerisms in check. We have become lazy in this virtual world, and there's a lot of great people missing opportunities to make new connections and have opportunities to grow their business, their network, resources, whatever that may be. Don't miss opportunity in these meetings because you don't know who's in there, and you don't know how they may want to connect with you. Light yourself properly. Frame yourself properly. just little things that can set you apart and stand out in these virtual meetings. And that's definitely one of the things that we work on.
Oh my gosh, I love it, Amy. And you know what we're going to do is that I want to do a plug on your book here, because it's Lights, Camera, Action, and you said that's coming out on July the 6th here.
July 6th,
Let's talk about
yes.
that. Let's tell our listeners how they can get a hold of it. And then I want to ask you if you have some tips and tools that you'd love to share with us today.
Oh, of course. I could do this all day. I give away far more than I ever sell because I just love doing this. But yes, you can. The book is available if you go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Powell Books, but you can also just go to amyscruggsmedia.com. There's a link right there on the front and the middle. You can't miss it. It'll take you to those retailers as well, or you can grab the ebook or pre-order the hard copy book. Also, there will be opportunities to get a early copy of the book in the next week as well. That'll be available on the site. You'll be able to find everything there. But some tips and tricks. This is the fun thing. First thing, and you guys are going to all laugh at this. You're going to giggle because everybody's guilty of this and you forget. But tip number one, no matter whether it's your computer camera, your cell phone camera, clean the lens front and back. If it's your cell phone, clean the back lens and the front lens, because when you go to do a selfie video or a selfie, you forget that front camera is there where you've had your fingers all over it. And I see a lot of blurry faces that could have been prevented with a quick cleaning of the camera lens. Your computer, we pick it up and down, our iPads, our laptops, we forget that we do touch that camera lens. You want to make sure that that's clean so that you're representing your best self, something very simple that you can do. Another thing is where your lighting is. Do not sit with the bright window behind you. You're going to be washed out like a ghost. You want to make sure that you're lit properly. And the best way to do that is to do a test before every Zoom that I go on to. I turn on Zoom first and test my lighting, my background, my framing. Do I need to lift my chair up and down? Make sure everything is good. Then I log back out. Then I go into the meeting I'm supposed to be in. Taking that extra 3 minutes before you have to go into any meeting to double check just what you look like, how you're framed. Is the light okay? Not everybody has the big fancy lighting equipment, but there are things you can do just by maybe moving, 90 degrees in your chair and turning where your camera is or what room you're in based on the time of the day and where the lights are coming in the window. The best that you can, make sure that you're representing your best self, just like you wouldn't walk into an office backwards or, slouch down. You wouldn't, only show half your face. Think about how you represent in person and try to virtually recreate that to the best of your ability. And another thing that I like to remind people of is that it's okay to pause. Somebody asks you a question, you don't have to fill every minute. It's okay to pause. It's okay to breathe before you answer, so that you're really gathering your thoughts and answering something and able to articulate. You like how I can't even say that word today? Articulate in a way that matters. We have a lot of filler words. We'll answer things with so, yeah, what I'd like to say today is, versus just, what is my message? Really thinking about what your message is, even if you're going in to do a quick introduction, be on a radio show, on a podcast, or even in an interview. What is it I really want to say? Preparation is absolutely key to anything that we want to accomplish.
Amy, thank you so much. Those were absolutely fantastic.
You're welcome. Another tip that I have for everybody, and this is one that I love to give, is start learning your self-awareness. How much do we not know our own faces? How much do we not realize the message we're sending through our face? I think we've all heard the term about the resting face, right? What kind of resting face do you have? But it is so true. Our resting faces and our talking faces are so important. And taking the time to start noticing how you present yourself. What is it your face is saying? Because our words are one thing, but a lot of our message is coming through our body language. A lot of people talk about body language, but the body language that takes place just in our face is powerful. And it can really make a difference in getting your message across or showing that you're authentic. People want to work with people that they know, like, and trust. And your face can give that message before you even speak. And a great way to do that is to start really putting yourself in front of a mirror. I know it sounds vain, and it sounds awkward, and a lot of people don't want to do it. But those that do, I see a tremendous improvement in their own self-recognition. And a lot of times something as simple as making your phone calls in front of a mirror to everybody. That way you see what your natural responses are. How do I react when I'm on the phone with my mother versus when I'm on the phone with a professional? What is my face saying? When one of my kids calls, you're going to learn what your face does in a normal conversation by really practicing in front of a mirror. And then when you're on camera or you're in front of somebody, you're not so self-conscious about what do I look like, because you've taken the time to really start memorizing your own mannerisms. And it can make a tremendous difference in your comfort level in any situation.
I love that. That is something, that tip was given to me years ago, and I still use it today. So I love that you have shared it, because that's something that I have not shared with our listeners. And I don't even think about it anymore, because that's just been an automatic response for myself.
Yes.
So thank you so much for sharing that one. Oh my gosh,
I'm
Amy,
so glad to know you do that.
Yeah. I was going to say, you have to come back on the program. You have so much knowledge. You have so much, you inspire me so much. I had such a blast today. I really would love you to come back on again.
Thank you. I would love to. Would love to talk about some of my old stories of touring the country with 4 kids in tow while on tour, and some of the fun experiences that have created the craziness that I call my life now, and the experience that I bring in. And it was just such an honor. I hope that I've inspired others to not give up, to keep going, and to find your best self and not be afraid to put it out there.
I think you have. You've definitely inspired me, and I know that you've inspired our listeners. And I want to thank you so much from all of our listeners that are tuning in today. Like, I know that they've really appreciated this. We appreciate you coming and spending the time with us today. And you know what? We'll definitely get you back on again soon.
Thank you so much.
Yay! And a big shout out. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in today. It's because of all of you that I have continued to do this program for 11 years, and I love it. Look what I get to do. I get to interview amazing women like Amy on my program, and it's because of you. You guys are sharing it, and we're going to continue to do this. So thank you again to Amy and to all of our listeners. I hope that everybody has a fantastic day and that you do something kind. And until next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.